Hey, what's up, guys? Oof, man, I had to take a break after the intense October focus, and I still didn't even get to half of what I wanted to do. The filmmaking thing, I still can't believe I made that film. Okay? So I figured I would stay with the filmmaking focus, at least going over this stuff. Movie Maker, I don't think I've gone over this one yet. It's interesting to look through here. Okay, some of the technology and the prices. Some of the cameras are very interesting and way more affordable. Of course, the creative types are always as creative types are, but the interesting thing I found in here was basically the advice that I think I gave once in the video is about the same with anyone else, right? You work around your limitations. Your limitations actually force you to be more creative. They force you to do more with less, right? The big thing I say is, if you have an idea, build it around your locations. If you don't have a lot of people to work with, which is going to be frequent, make them do a lot of different things. Um, that's that advice, and just do it, right? That advice was said many times in this magazine. Now, I don't. Am I a filmmaker? I don't know. I guess I sort of have made filmed narratives. I don't even count all the videos I made in this damn channel. But it was interesting looking at here. Of course, it was also interesting seeing other things in here, and I'll get into that with the power of editing. Yes, this guy here, this Australian, made a film about Marilyn Monroe. But I like the description here. A fictionalized Marilyn Monroe, swept from the pages of Joyce Carol Oates' fictional biography. The hell, fictional biography? What it's all fiction, isn't it? In the end, as we can see in this late date. So it's about as it makes actually sense in a way. It's all fiction, isn't it? But it's right here. When he talks about Marilyn Monroe, right? Wasn't treated well. I don't know. I guess I don't know. It wasn't treated well. You always wonder about that. There's all this like fawning over this poor woman. And I'm not saying that she didn't have trouble. She had a very troubled family. The mother was very troubled, but regardless, in referring to, I'll just read what's here. The Me Too movement helped in a sense that one of the biggest obstacles to getting financed was the way that it portrayed various men that were sacred cows. When the Me Too thing happened, you just couldn't defend men. I would say, what does that mean? But I think I know what he means. You couldn't defend those men, or you can't defend men in general. Well, I think the latter actually is what's happening. Yeah, in terms of sacred cow, John F. Kennedy and Joe DiMaggio, from what I remember, doesn't have a good reputation as a human being. Okay, and John Kennedy, Jesus, has been dissected many times. So I think he does. Oh, thank God, Arthur Miller was probably the only good man in the movie. Yeah, it was interesting here too. He goes over. I thought this was funny. We live in a world where WAP is like the number one song. This sort of Eisenhower morality doesn't really seem to bear much resemblance to what's going on in the world. What morality is that? Classifying hundreds of thousands of soldiers as something else so you can have them die of exposure outside in a very brutal winter. I guess that's a morality. uh, but anyway, there's really I'm no interest in this. So I mean, this woman's been gone for 50 friggin' years. Come on, man. Here, Martin McDonald. I have a funny story which I won't really tell you too much. I went on my third date with this broad, seeing Seven Psychopaths, which was just like In Bruges, what this guy did. He's sort of like a Garth Ennis, but like a filmmaker, a playwright version of Garth Ennis. There's some good scenes in those films, but there's some really stupid scenes. I really don't like the nihilistic, Celtic, brutally humiliate and murder your enemy sort of thing anymore. So, but the countryside is beautiful. And I will say, these two have a very good. These two actors, Colin Farrell, who's way past his leading man phase, which is better. And Brendan Gleeson, this friggin' guy is such a great actor, man. So in friggin' don't get any more Irish than this. So, but whatever. Regardless, he gives an advice in here that was he gives some good advice. I like this one here. Right? I'm a very fair man, right? Christopher Walken talking about his actors. It shows you what Christopher Walken's quality is, right? He's like different. I was trying to direct him a different way in a scene. He said, "Don't worry about it. I'll give you like 4 different versions of this thing. In the edit, that's all you need." Okay, the older actors, to give them a lot of credit, they know all that stuff, right? We'll do it in editing, but in the edit, I had 4 different options. So I thought that was very interesting. Like George Romero always mentioned, film a lot, film a lot, film a lot. You have more options in the editing, and from the actor perspective, very useful little advice there. That was good. So this is cool. They have a little development thing here. This is actually interesting. A horror film for $10K. What are they trying to say about horror films? A rom-com for $20K. Historical epic for $30. This was actually very interesting. The horror film. I think I had seen this somewhere before. I just like that right off the bat, New Mexico. Okay, I will say it again. Just like John Carpenter's Vampires. New Mexico is one of the most beautiful, almost alien planet-like states in this America. It's absolutely an amazing place, New Mexico. There's no place. I'm still definitely a supernatural, almost dark fantasy world. This New Mexico, and the north part of it, and the south part of it are like 2 different planets in and of itself. But anyway, in terms of the filmmaking thing here, right? The way it's able to be so cheap is, I'm the whole crew. It's just me and the actors. I don't see with the technology you have now. I don't see why that shouldn't be more of a thing, right? I mean, he's talking about a friend of his, decade-old Canon 5D Mark III, are capable of turning out silver screen quality work. So, like I'm already saying, the video, right? The shot of video stuff that we knuckleheads were doing back in the day. Now it's all shot on video because of technology, right? And once again, the same advice, which is, you say it twice, say it a million times. You want to make a movie, you can make a movie. You should just do it, right? Just go out and do it. Okay, you can do it now. Just do it, right? So here we got the rom-com. Oh, hey. Interesting. I thought this was funny here. The guy's like New York actor. Okay, he was a gay actor. Right? When he could not get work. Right. What he did was often as an understudy for a straight actor playing a gay role. What the hell is it? I never really knew what the hell an understudy was. Anyway, so he made a film here, right? Whatever. Gives the same advice. Hey, darling. It gives the same advice here. Make what you can with the resources at hand, right? People always come to me with ideas for a film and say, write it. Now, one of the big things that I guess is alien to me is writing a script. So if you make a little, like, stupid horror movies like I do, I guess the script goes out the window. But this guy had 20 grand, so you better, to get that money, I guess you should have a little more of a guidance. And this, okay, $30K, historical epic. This was really cool, okay? The Huguenot Memorial in Jacksonville, Florida, okay? The Huguenots, and they mention here, who are the Huguenots? Right, who fled Catholic oppression. Well, they were French Protestants, okay? You can give the Catholic Mediterranean countries some credit, right? They took care of their Protestant problem. Unlike the divides you had in Germany and Ireland and in the UK. But obviously those are old battles that should be gone. But it's interesting that they're filming something here about the Huguenots that settled briefly in Florida before they were massacred by the Spanish, who then settled and made the first city in America, St. Augustine, which is one of my favorite places to visit. And they showed how they made it, and the whole idea of filming outside in Florida during the reign of the god, the sea god, the god where it's all cap letters. Okay, already in a state that was more free than the other states, outside. So I like to say, I'm from Florida. I've been bitten by bugs. You would get bit in Florida for sure. But I thought that was interesting. They made a historical epic for $30,000, using the locations and using the history of the Huguenots, who also were the first Europeans to settle Staten Island. For if you care. All right, now this is. I'm just gonna read this. I'm just gonna read this. I'm not gonna make any commentary. Okay. Armageddon Time, the latest film from James Gray, marks at the end of a kind of 1960s honesty and idealism, and the beginning of a Reagan-era pursuit of profit at all costs. Oh God, you're so cliched already. All right, I like this. One of the many crises of our age is our inability to figure out how to monetize integrity. You can't serve two masters. You can't commodify honor, my friend. So anyway, Armageddon Time begins with two boys becoming friends at their Queens, New York public school. Paul is Jewish, and Johnny is black. Their friendship unexpectedly alters their lives in ways shaped by unfairness beyond their control. At the urging of his parents, and with help from his grandfather, Paul ends up going to a private prep school where Fred Trump looms large. The father to a future president rejects handouts to the poor while giving them to his own children. Unjust. Compromises are made in search of comfort and money. So this is the film that Mr. Gray has made. All right. And it's interesting what he has. I'm just going to read more of what he does. Okay, oppression is a very complex thing. You can be both the oppressor and the oppressed at the same time. A lot of times the issue is made very binary. There are bad people and good people. We'd love to see the world in those terms, but it's more complicated than that. You can be a family of American Jews, for example, and have a history of trauma, and at the same time be part of a system that is oppressing people. Everyone is capable of contributing in some way to a kind of oppression. It's not a comforting thought. We like to think of a racist person or an anti-Semitic person as being identified by a white hood and a burning cross on your lawn. Those people, of course, do exist. They're federal informers also. In appallingly large numbers, they're hopeless. I mean, maybe a massive education, or should I say re-education, program or something could help. Certainly wouldn't hurt. But it's more complicated than that. Every time you give your kid a piano lesson or a tutor for math, you are doing your own little part to contribute to an unfair world. And every act that you do in life carries with it compromises. You buy a pair of sneakers, but where are they made and by whom? There's no act that you can perform that is not in the back of somebody's misery. Interesting. Very, very deep, Mr. Gray. Very deep. Hey, for some reason, they have Gray scattered through this thing. Right? It is the job of artists to express what's wrong with the world, the thorn inside the rose. Hey, I agree with you. And here he goes. Here, what's this? He mentions Francis Bacon. Interesting. Right? And Goya's black paintings. Oh, right. It's disquieting, but that's our job. Well, there's a lot of ideas for movies that I think should be made that would be very disquieting. Okay, the problem is if they're disquieting to you, something tells me I don't think you're gonna like it very much. Just say it.